Real Housewives of Orange County recap. Sorry, not sorry. I may not know much about the Bible, but I do know about the rules and regulations of being a real housewife. So I know that Housewives some proverbial truths states thou shalt honor girl code above all else. For some reason, for all Vicki Gunvalson's learning about how the Botoxed and manicured hearts and half-witted minds of her species works, she cannot take this to heart. So that is how it goes on the Real Housewives of Orange County. The same tide that washes in good intentions taketh them away. However, even in the real world, many cameras and storylines removed from anything touched by Andy Cohen or the dark waters climbing up the spiral staircase leading to Kelly Dodd's mid-century unmodern denial. It is bad form, very very bad form, to start double dating with your friend's ex-husband without telling her. How are we expected to believe that even Vicki is this stupid? Hasn't she learned from Shannon Beador and Tamra Judge that involving herself in anyone's marriage, or the disintegrating lack thereof, only leads down the path to double hockey sticks? Shockingly, Vicki wasn't all bad this episode though. She sent Eddie Judge casseroles. Okay, well, the low-carb, low-fat, low-deliciousness version called salads that Eddie and Tamra eat, cause they are people whose body fat composition looks like slick, spongy insides of a zucchini. I don't know what that means, it just sounds funny. Vicki could have zoodled those zucchinis herself and baked love notes inside them, but Eddie still wisely wouldn't eat it. He doesn't trust Vicki Gunvalson as far as she can throw a kettlebell while doing a squat. Maybe she is Miss Trunchbull in secret? To Vicki, delivering food is basically her way of saying I'm sorry, I love you, I'm no longer a flat earther, and guess what, I learned all the valuable lessons, and hope you'll let me stuff you full of my needs and wants and delusions like this flaky tater tot crust clogs a cheesy broccoli. It is not a bad way to admit you've done wrong or show love, except Eddie probably doesn't eat cheese and this is Orange County. So Vicki had to do the hard work here because as Eddie, a man so buff he gave himself a heart injury, will tell you, anything worth having takes hard work. And he would know this, especially as he is married to Tamra. Vicki isn't the only one making moves. Shannon's attorney advocated for David to keep her in the manor she is accustomed to, except for that one teeny detail called not living in a manor. Or with David, who was barely there to begin with. Anyway, Shannon may be imprisoned in a tiny house, scratching her feet on plastic grass, a daily toxic reminder that David's neglect is giving their only son Archie BPA poisoning, but she will not be forced to give up her luxury vacations. As if to prove the mantra it's cheaper to keep her, David is sending her and the girls to Mexico. This is a clever distraction cause David will be simultaneously taking his new love to Park City to hobnob with the likes of Robert Redford while trying not to ski into a tree. A tree Shannon probably planted there to support Earth Day. As Shannon prepares for this first trip as a single mom, she seems to be intentionally packing the suitcases well over the weight limit, stuffing them with such essentials as Vicky's casseroles, distilled water and Costco-sized boxes of tampons. It's a miracle of Gunvalsian Odyssey that they made it on the plane and to Puerto Vallarta alive. While Shannon is having a great time, just her and the girls, she'd like other gals to join her, specifically gals to gulp vodka with while she cries, so she calls Tamara and proposes that Tamara and Vicky meet her in Mexico for an impromptu girls trip. After all, nothing, and I mean nothing, baptizes a Housewives friend group into solemnity like a good old whoop it up away from home. Tamara must consult Eddie first. Not only has he just had heart surgery, but he's no fan of the Vicster. Shannon hopes to use this trip to continue building trust with Vicky. I guess Vicky is the closest thing to David in the untrustworthy department, and Shannon's codependent like that. Interesting that Kelly isn't included though, and poor Eddie, he's been wandering around their half-finished house, in a kitchen without a sink, and Vicky is preying on his weakness. To find solace, he visits his version of church, Cut Fitness, and teaches an aerobics class filled with housewives. That, my friend, sounds like hell on all levels. In walks Kelly, who now that she is dating is more fit than ever, Emily Simpson, who will tell us every 15 seconds she's on a television screen that she is a lawyer, and therefore apparently has no time for such idleness as exercise, and the new one Gina Kirsch and Heater say that 3 times fast, then never again. Gina looks like the human equivalent of a Monster High doll, all grown up and out of her goth face. Except she just dyed her black hair blonde and started saying coffee like it's her job. It is, actually, her job to roam around Orange County reminding them that there's this whole other side of the US called New York. Gina's other job is raising 3 kids, solo, while her husband lives in LA working. Alt wink, alt wink. If only David had figured out how to make this arrangement work. Of course, we all know that Gina and the husband who doesn't even appear in the credits with her are getting divorced. Even though Gina swore in her finest Long Island princess's accent that her marriage, while unconventional, worked so long as it was lubricated by plenty of mommy with wine moments, unfortunately, it was just like she said. Things might look okay on the surface, but behind closed doors it's a whole nother story. Except nobody, not for an instant, believed that things were fine, especially not in Orange County, a land that has more 40-year-old divorcees per capita than it does Botox spas. Kelly got a double dose of Emily this episode. Emily joined Kelly and Tamara at the nail salon, where she revealed that not only was her sister a surrogate to carry her 3 kids, but that Emily's husband is a Mormon who doesn't drink. Kelly doesn't understand how a marriage can work when the partners have such different values. Emily and Shane seem okay though. I mean, they're celebrating 9 years of marriage based on a Google chat proposal, and they didn't even have sex before marriage because Shane has those pesky values and all. On the plus side, he's independently wealthy and is a workers' comp lawyer. Emily makes him work to set a good example for their kids. Also, she's an attorney too, in case you've forgotten, and you know couples who practice law together stay together.